going on, everybody? Back here with the professional himself, MMA investing, Mr. Joe. How you feeling, my friend?
Yep, glad to be back, baby. Another card, another Saturday coming up. So I always look forward to these for sure. We got some good ass fights too. I
Super
mean,
good ass fights. UFC Vegas 36, 36.
36, yeah.
Yes, super pumped up. Like I said, love having this guy on. He's the pro, killing it with the picks, MMA investing. Go look at that shit. Check out the Instagram. Followers are going up. Subscriptions going up too, which is fucking awesome to see. 6 or 7 fights on this, but we're gonna cut it down to 3. But your first fight, the prodigy himself. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Going to Khalil Roundtree and Bukauskas.
Pimblett's first on the card, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. We got Paddy Pimblett over here and Luigi Vendramini. Good ass fight for sure. And this is Pimblett's first fight in the UFC, his debut fight. This is the most hyped up I've ever seen a fighter going into the UFC since, I don't know, man, Conor McGregor or somebody else. I mean, off the top of my head, but like the hype this guy is getting going into the UFC is absurd, man. I mean, the guy already has like 300,000 followers on Instagram. The UFC hyping him up for sure. The UFC engine is definitely behind this guy, man. So hopefully he can live up to that. From the limited amount of tape I've watched on Pimblett, he looks like a pretty damn good fighter, and it looks like he'll be able to back it up.
Yeah.
He's a really good striker, good ground game too. But I think where he excels is that pace, that pressure with that like dynamic striking style that he has. Vendramini, he's more of a grappler, I would say. He's pretty reliant on that BJJ, and when he can't get you down, man, he really struggles, as we saw in his last fight with Faraz Ziam. When he couldn't get Ziam down, man, he was struggling. He was getting pieced up on the feet, kind of. He does have some pretty decent striking, but I mean, in terms of him compared to Paddy Pimblett, I mean, it's really not close, man. I think Vendramini is pretty durable, and from what I've seen, Pimblett's very durable as well. But I just think Pimblett's going to get the much better of the striking exchanges on the feet, hurt Vendramini really bad, maybe even finish him, first, second, third round, possibly. I would think a little later.
Yeah.
I don't think Vendramini is going to be able to get him down. From what I've seen, Pimblett looks like he has pretty good takedown defense, and if he's pretty good at getting himself back up. But yeah, man, Pimblett's pretty freaking awesome. He has a pretty cool fight style as well. He's really high pace, high energy, and it's pretty flashy. So I think he's going to get a pretty cool knockout here, and I think the UFC knows what they're doing, giving him this fighter. I think they know this is a good setup fight for him to get maybe a highlight reel knockout or something like that, and drive his stock up even more. So I got Pimblett, second round, maybe TKO or something like that, I'm thinking.
Yeah, dude, and you said it best yourself. So the UFC wants to build stars. Again, I always bring this up, the whole WWE shit. John Cena was just here on SummerSlam this past pay-per-view. He helped elevate Roman Reigns, their new top guy. And again, that's what you want to do. And yes, it's kind of silly comparing pro wrestling with MMA, but the UFC wants that because Conor McGregor is still, even after losing for years on end, he is still by far the biggest draw. You know what I mean? Yeah, not even close. It doesn't matter if he loses 10 fights in a row. People are going to pay to see that guy fight, and it's just in their best interest, business-wise, to build these guys up. So yeah, dude. I mean, for the UFC's sake, I love when they build new stars in pro wrestling, but also in the UFC. Who wouldn't want another McGregor type guy, another Sean O'Malley type guy? You know what I mean? Just to kind of build him up. It's for the company, and yeah, dude. Hopefully, they strap the rocket on him, and he just explodes. So we shall see. And hopefully wins in the devastating fashion. They can replay it nonstop on their Instagram, on their Twitter, on just whatever. You know what I mean? Hype this, get the hype train on. Next fight, who we got, sir?
Yeah, Khalil Roundtree and Modestas Bukauskas. Interesting fight.
Interesting. Mr. Roundtree has been on the good end of a few highlight reels, which is good. Your casual fan will see him. Oh yeah, I saw him. Get that crazy ass knockout. So it's good to see him on. And then how do you say it? Bukauskas, right? Bukauskas, not a bad record at 11-4. I'm not sure how I quite see this one going. This one is interesting, as you said. It can go a few different ways. If Khalil can land that, real hard shot, sure, I'm sure it'd be another great, again, highlight reel for the UFC, for ESPN MMA, for just all the MMA outlets out there. But again, this is an interesting one. I feel like this is a fairly even fight. How do you see this one going?
No, dude, yeah, you hit it on the head for sure. The problem with Khalil Roundtree, man, that dude is so low volume, man. Like he doesn't throw shit the whole fight. You got to he almost has to get like forced into like striking for you back sometimes.
Yeah,
Like last fight against Pacquiao, he should have blown that guy out of the water and he just wouldn't throw anything. I mean, he hurt
yeah,
him a couple, but that was because he got forced into it. He had to strike back. Bukauskas, he's another pretty much a striker as well, man. He looks pretty good. He's a big, strong, athletic kid, you can tell. He has some pretty good striking himself, and this fight's going to be competitive for sure. I haven't seen the betting lines yet. I would assume Khalil's probably going to be like a slight favorite, something like that, just because of the experience and the name value. But I think Bukauskas wins this fight. I think Bukauskas is just going to be able to land more and just out volume Roundtree. Pretty good striking. I mean, he's not going to win the championship time anytime soon or be a contender, but this fight's going to be competitive for sure. And I do think Bukauskas is just going to be able to do a little bit more each round. If there is a finish, though, I think it is the Roundtree side.
of course.
He hurt bad. What's his name? Jimmy Crute knocked Bukauskas out really bad, given Crute's a better fighter than Roundtree is. But I do think this fight's going to be competitive. If there's a knockout, it's probably Roundtree, but I don't think that's going to happen. I see Bukauskas just out-voluming Roundtree every round and getting himself a decision.
Yeah, and you make a valid point. Now, I do think because there was some hype around Roundtree with the crazy knockouts that if he does lose, especially in devastating fashion, if he gets TKO'd in the second round, like you said, too much volume on the other side, I think this would be really bad for Roundtree because there was some hype around him. I think maybe he might go back down to the prelims possibly, just because again, yes, he's had some of those knockouts, but yeah, not your most interesting or your more popular fighter because there isn't a ton of volume getting thrown. Like you said, you have to kind of force him to get into scraps. So yeah. I think a loss like that would be really bad. I think it hurts Roundtree a lot more than it hurts Bukauskas.
100%, dude. Yeah, the name Roundtree, and dude, he shows those glimpses where he can be really good. Like he's a striker. He has a good Muay Thai base. Hard leg kicks, popping his hands. But yeah, man, like I said, he just doesn't seem to have that dog in him. If you want, like he just doesn't seem to have that urgency to go out there and get that win, man. So because of that, I gotta pick Bukauskas, but I mean, it's not a lock pick by any means. Roundtree could definitely win this fight, of course. So
yeah, and I hope he does engage. I hope he doesn't run, quote unquote. And when I hear the word run, I think of fucking Yoel. He run, bro. He run, bro. Yeah, that kind of shit. But yeah, hopefully he does engage and it doesn't take them getting in his face for him to try to throw and shit like that. But we'll see. You made a fantastic points about it. So yeah, dude. In your main event, though, I mean, talk about star power. Darren Till against Derek Brunson. Darren Till, dude, he is still young. He has a mouthpiece on him. He has everything you want in a fighter. He has the look. I don't know if you saw him on Ariel Helwani's podcast. He just, dude, that dude, you can't trust that guy. He's just crazy, but you gotta love him too. Gotta love that guy. So, oh man, I think this is gonna be a real fun fight. Brunson's a banger too, but just for the sake of the UFC, and I'll be honest, I'm a little biased towards Till. I like Till a lot. I want to see him win. I want to see him get on a streak. He's still young. He can learn from his losses in the past. And again, one of the biggest things, I know I'm ranting a little bit, one of the biggest things in pro wrestling and in the UFC, Conor McGregor can attest to that, is a mouthpiece. That mouthpiece is wonders, bro. It's huge.